Tzu Chi first set foot in Cambodia 17 years ago. Over the next 3 years, volunteers conducted 6 relief distributions, but had to withdraw due to political instability. Recently, local Taiwanese businessmen have picked up the baton. In our continuing series on the origins of Tzu Chi's work in Cambodia, we find out how a plea from an army general brought Tzu Chi to the country. This 4-year-old girl is an orphan. Unable to see the whole family of 13 constantly hungry, her parents believed their salvation lies in death and decided to poison the food. The girl escaped because she went out to look for food. At a Tzu Chi distribution, a mother stands in line. The child in her hands, sadly, has already died of hunger.
The temperature was over 45 degrees Celsius that day. The woman was holding something to her chest. With the translator's assistance, we learned that it was an infant about this big. It died in the mother's arms. But why did this woman remain in line? We found out that she still had 6 young children at home. She said even if this baby died, without bringing 8 bags of rice home, all 6 children would die.
Such heart-wrenching tragedies, sadly, are not uncommon in Cambodia. The country is 5 times the size of Taiwan, with a rich and extensive history. However, it was decimated by years of civil war and conflicts. Without basic infrastructure, rice fields are irrigated by rainwaters. In 1994, torrential rain caused extensive flooding across the country's 13 provinces. Then, subsequent fain winds destroyed what was left of the farmland. The State Secretary of the Ministry of the Interior, General Ho Sok, sent out a letter pleading for help at the suggestion of a Taiwanese businessman. The letter was answered promptly by a group of people from a country with no diplomatic ties with Cambodia and who didn't understand Khmer. Tzu Chi volunteers from Taiwan arrived in November of the same year. Immediately, they headed to the disaster areas. With the assistance of local Taiwanese businessmen, they secured water pumps and fuel to supply water to the dying rice fields. The general went to pick up PET bottles from the gutters so residents may store the fuel to keep the water pumps running, demonstrating that compassion is truly universal.
We will all encounter difficulties from time to time, and we need to be there for each other at those times. That's a very fundamental human characteristic.
At Tzu Chi's distribution sites, people arrived early and even the night before so they could bring food back to their families. Before rice was ready for harvest in December and before residents ran out of food, in the provinces of Prey Veng and Takeo, Tzu Chi delivered 1,648 tons of rice and 600 tons of rice seeds to over 82,000 residents. Tzu Chi's aid came in the nick of time. The food they brought kept thousands of Cambodians alive, and the Tzu Chi water pumps breathed new life into the dying rice fields. To reciprocate, General Ho Sok flew to Taiwan to thank Master Zheng Yan personally. Seeing a little boy with a badly infected wound on his leg, volunteers quickly applied some ointment on him. This, however, drew the boy's mother to tell the volunteers of their tragic life. With this, one simple thought of kindness sets in motion the idea of building a DaAi village. All Tzu Chi distributions in the country are accompanied by military escorts. At night, soldiers patrol the hotel where the volunteers sleep. Eventually, political instability forced Tzu Chi to withdraw from Cambodia temporarily. Now, some 10 years later, local Taiwanese entrepreneurs are picking up the baton of great love once again, so needy families in Cambodia can be taken care of.